Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada. Om Shri Mahaganapataye Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om Sadashiva Samarambham Shankara Acharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Asmad Gurubhyo Namaha. Sharada Sharadam Bhoja Vadana Vadanambuje Sarvada Sarvadasmakam Sannidhim Kriyat Shri Sharada Parameshwarjai Namaha Vakyakaram Vararuchim Bhashyakaram Patanjalim Paninim Sutrakarancha Pranatosmi Munitrayam Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ओम शांति 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 हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरि ओम नमस्ते once again all of you
Namaste Guruji.
Namaste.
Namaste ji.
Namaste. So after the over the head performance of Wednesday, when everything went over the head, at least is hovering somewhere above the head, so that like a helicopter, when the helicopter before lands in a place, it will hover for some time and then slowly come down and land. Similarly, if you allow the that teaching to hover above the head for some time, it will slowly settle down and go into the head. But of course, jokes apart, that those topics which we saw, the Kritya Pratyayas, as I told you, they are more important to remember them from the point of view of Shastras. We don't see the usage of those Kritya Pratyayas too much in the normal text and all that. So you don't need to worry too much. Only thing is, as I said, if you are familiar with these things, the moment you come across this, you will know, okay, I have, I've seen it somewhere like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm finding in Swamiji's classes. Bahuvirism. Oh, this is what Raghuji has been talking about. Yes, you are right, especially in the Shastra, which I never used to understand before.
So,
thank you.
Shastra is the complete use of Sanskrit grammar, I mean, all aspects of grammar you can find in Shastras. Whereas in texts and all that, many times they take the easy way out. For example, samasas and all that, you will find so much in Shastras. In text and all, we will not find samasas so much. That's why we teach samasas only in the end rather. And it's also a little bit, it may, if the last class went about 1 feet or 2 feet over the head, samasas may go some 1 meter above the head. So we will come to that later after, enough sufficient ground has been prepared. Having said that, what topic we are going to talk today or learn today is very important from the normal literature point of view. And we have seen the usage of that even in infant reader many times rather. So we will go into that, and these are very easy to learn in the sense that they are all avyaya pratyayas. They are kridantas, but they are avyayas. So you don't need to, they will not decline and all that, 21 forms and all that will not be there. Strilinga, Pullinga and all that. But they are avyayas and they are very, very useful. All that we need to do is understand in what all contexts these pratyayas are used so that we can, understand whenever we come across these pratyayas. So with that few words as a background, we will straight away go to these pratyayas, avyaya krit pratyayas. Okay. Slideshow. So this is avyaya krit pratyayas. These are the 3 pratyayas are there we will talk about. So the krit pratyayas to make avyayas. To make a new pratipadika which is treated as an avyaya, indeclinable, the following krit pratyayas are suffixed to a dhatu. So whenever these 3 pratyayas are suffixed to a dhatu, they are all avyayas. They have become indeclinables. What are those pratyayas? Twa, denotes a previous action when there are two actions done by the same agent. Okay. For example, having known this person or having known the address, he visits the house. Suppose that is a sentence. So there are two actions here. One is the action of knowing. First action is that he knows the address. The second action is having known the address, he goes to that place of that address to visit whoever is there. Now, these two actions can be expressed with tinganta also as a verb, right? But in the language, to add a flavor, what normally they do is the first verb, they use this twa pratyaya as a kridanta. And then the second one, second action, they denote it with a tinganta. So, what is that address? I don't know what is the Sanskrit word for address. Anybody can help me?
Pataji.
Pata, no, address will be what? Pata will be this road, right? Let us use address only. I'm not getting it. It doesn't matter.
Is it, Raghuji, when in Bhagavad Gita say Bhagavan Vacha is addressing Arjuna, would that be the right?
I mean, I'm saying physical address.
Oh, physical address, never mind. Sorry.
Like door number and things like that, street number and all.
Sanketaha, Guruji.
Huh?
Sanketaha.
Sanketaha. Okay.
Sanketaha.
So, Sanketaha Jnatva Saha Tatra Gacchati. So, having known the address, he goes there. So, suppose this is the sentence, right? So, there are two actions. One is the action of knowing the address. Another is going to that address. So, when two actions are there, what we will do, the first action, the preceding action, we will use twa pratyaya. So that is how here it is. We will see more details in the next slides. So with nya, when twa is added, it becomes nyatva. That ka is a it letter, it is dropped. So nyatva, having known. Okay. Then there is another pratyaya called lyap. Now there is no difference between lyap and twa in terms of its applicability. The only difference is lyap is a substitute for twa when the dhatu comes along with the upasarga. Suppose the dhatu has got a upasarga, then we will not use twa, but we will use lyap. That is the only difference. Otherwise, it is the same. For example, pari plus iksh is the dhatu, pari is the upasarga. So iksh means to examine. So here we will not use twa, but we will use lyap. And in lyap also, the lakara and the pakara both are it letters. So the lyap, the content is ya. So when you say pari plus iksh, it becomes parikshya, having examined. So this is the only difference between twa and lyap. In fact, we can even consider it both are the same pratyayas only, and they are sort of used in different contexts. Twa is used with any dhatu, provided the dhatu does not have a upasarga, and if there is a upasarga, then lyap is used in place of twa. Purpose is the same, the meaning is the same, and the applicability of being the prior action is also the same. So these are the two pratyayas, twa pratyaya and lyap pratyaya. And when we add this, nyatva is an indeclinable, pariksha is an indeclinable. So any gender, anywhere, we will just use only pariksha. That's all. We don't need to worry about what is the gender, what is the vachana and all that. It is in decline. Then the third pratyaya is tumun pratyaya. This also we have seen a lot in the recent, even in that lesson where, that beach lesson where that lady was sitting and the two girls were playing and all. In that lesson also we saw this tumun pratyaya 2-3 times rather. So tumun denotes the action itself to make an infinite form of the dhatu. So nya plus tumun nyatum, to know, right? So nyatum ichha, to know, that is a desire to know. So jignasa is explained as nyatum ichha, jignasa, a desire to know. So this is the tumun pratyaya. Again, tumun is an indeclinable and it is used very, very, I would say, popularly in the texts and in all the stories and texts and all that. We will come across these usages. So now we will go and look at what is an avyaya. Because we have used this term avyaya a lot of times, but we have never seen what is the definition of an avyaya from the point of view of the grammar, Panini Sutras. So some pratipadikas are given a technical term avyayam in Panini Sutras. Twa and tumun ending pratipadikas are defined as avyayam. There are others also, a lot of avyaya, like cha is avyaya, na is avyaya and all that. Here in terms of a dhatu, the twa and tumun ending pratipadikas are defined as an avyaya. Being a substitute for twa, lyap ending pratipadikas are also treated as a avyaya. So after getting avyaya sankhya, technical term which is avyayam, avyaya sankhya means the name or name avyaya. Okay, being a pratipadika, a supratyaya is suffixed so that it makes a avyaya padam, a word that can be used in language. Because you cannot use any a word unless it has got a supratyaya or a ting pratyaya. Suptingantam padam, they say. Of course, there are kridantas and all that, all those rules are there. But basically, as we have seen right in the beginning, a padam, a word to be used in a language in a sentence, has to be either a sup ending or a ting ending. So being a pratipadika, here we add a supratya. But what happens? Then if you are adding a supratya, then what is the question of avyayam? So we add the supratyaya to give it a character or a title of a padam, and then the supratyaya is removed, so that the original, this twa or lyap pratyaya or tumun pratyaya which is added, it can be used in the language. So that is how. So that supratyaya is present, but that becomes invisible. So any supratyaya suffix to an avyaya should be elided. In other words, it should become invisible. So whenever we are seeing these avyaya words, it is not that they do not have the supratyaya. They have, but we don't see them. They are only if the supratyaya is added, whether seen or unseen, can those words be used in the language. This is a very technical matter. Even if you don't remember this, it doesn't matter. As long as you remember that avyayas are indeclinables, that's all. So, but then technically, those who are interested may know what is this avyaya. Somebody asks you, you are learning, so this avyaya, where is the supratyaya? You say suptingantam padam. So how can an avyaya become a padam? How can you use it in a language? Suppose somebody asks you, you are learning Sanskrit for more than 1 year now. Don't you even know this basic? Then you can tell them, you see, listen, I know it. Avyaya can be used as a padam because avyaya has got an invisible supratyaya attached to it. We don't see it, but it is there. Unless it is there, we cannot use it as a padam. So that is why we can use avyaya as a padam, because it has an invisible supratyaya. This is the answer you can give boldly to somebody who may know more than you. Many people don't know all these things, but this is how the grammar is constructed. So I wanted to clarify that. So even after elision, that is being suppressed, the status of being a subanta is retained so that the word can be used in the language. And because of the elision of the supratyaya for a pratipadika that is deemed as abhyaya sankhya, declension is as though not there. This is the reason for the name indeclinable, right? So I've already explained you all these things. Now we will study these three abhyayas in some detail. Okay. Twa pratyaya. Of this krit pratyaya, we have to know 7 things as usual. What does twa denotes? Twa denotes a previous action where there are 2 actions done by the same agent. This is very important. See, it is not that any 2 actions will take, in a sentence will take twa pratyaya. Suppose one action is done by A and another action is done by B, then you cannot apply twa pratyaya for the action of A. Right? Unless both the actions are done by the same person, this twa pratyaya cannot be applied for the previous action. For example, we can say that having eaten the breakfast, he goes to office. This is a sentence. So there are 2 things, 2 actions. One is eating the breakfast, another is going to the office. So there both are done by the same person, the same karta. There we can use twa pratyaya, right? So that we must be clear that this, both the actions should be done by the same person. So example, having done action A, he does action B. So action A takes twa pratyaya. And content of twa is twa. Ik is the it letter. And what does it do? It prohibits guna vriddhi in the anga. So because of that, the anga does not undergo any change when we add the twa pratyaya. It is just dhatu plus twa. That's all we do. No vriddhi, no guna, nothing happens rather. Then special modification, as I said, no guna. Gender of the new pratipadika, as twa pratipadika denotes action, it does not have any gender. So this twa practically is used as a replacement for a verb, as a thing pratyaya, isn't it? So it doesn't have a gender because verbs don't have genders. It can be used with all genders. Declension of the new pratipadika, being an abhyaya, the new pratipadika does not decline. Vigraha vakyam. Since this is kritvritti and easily understandable, vigraha vakyam are not commonly seen for this. So one of the very, very simple, easy pratyayas in the kridantas. Okay. So to make a sentence, having done action A, he does action B, twa pratyaya is suffixed after a dhatu indicating action A. For example, in the sentence, having known the meaning, he writes the verses. 2 actions belong to the same karta. Knowing the meaning happens prior to writing the verses. Thus, twa pratyaya is suffixed to a dhatu indicating to know. To make the word whose meaning is having known, nya is added to twa. So nyatva becomes having known. We have already seen that in this example, nyatva, having known. So having known the meaning, artham nyatva, or you can say meanings, arthan nyatva, saha likati. What likati? Verses. Kavita likati, you can say. So he writes a poem having known the meaning. So like that we can make any sentences when there are 2 actions involved. Okay. So only after getting the status of pada, a word is qualified. I have already told you. So in order to become a pada, being a pratipadika, supratyaya must be suffixed to the nyatva. Since any supratyaya after an abhyaya has to be elided, that is becoming invisible, by grammar rule, avyaya words as though do not decline, keeping the same form. Twa can take idagama when the dhatu is set. This is important to note. For example, pat dhatu. Pat dhatu is a set dhatu. Pat to study. To make a word whose meaning is having studied, if the dhatu is set, we have to bring in idagama. So pat plus twa, then we add idagama, pat plus itwa, then it becomes patitwa. So we have to be careful that if the dhatu is a set dhatu, which is set means it will take idagama, then we have to be careful to add the idagama to this pratyaya and make it patitva, right? So whenever we come across these things, when the moment we say patitva, the twa pratyaya, and there is a e, that means we can say pat dhatu takes idagama. That's another way of guessing which dhatus take idagama, which don't take idagama. So this is another clue whenever we are, going through some lessons or texts and all that, we can make out. Okay. So this is twa pratyaya. Some examples are here. Kri plus twa, kritva, having done. Nya plus twa, nyatva, having known, we have seen. Shru plus twa, shrutva, having heard. Pat plus twa, patitva. Vid dhatu, again idagama comes viditva, having known. Gam dhatu, gatva, having gone. Nam dhatu, natva, having saluted. Han dhatu, hatva, having injured. Tyaj dhatu, tyaktva, having given up. This jakara, like last class we said, it takes kakar, this kavarga adesha. So tyaktva it becomes. Okay. Bhuj dhatu, same thing. Bhuktva. Much dhatu, muktva, same. Chakara becomes kakara. Drish dhatu, drishtva. Vach dhatu, uktva. Then stha dhatu, stitva. So all these are all examples. Whenever we find a word ending with twa, that means it is a verb. It takes the meaning of a verb, and it is an action, preceding action for some other action which is to follow. So such sentences using twa will always have two verbs, two actions. Okay. So this is twa ending words. Now more is there. Da, dattva, lab, labdva, buddh, buddhva, having known. Buddha also is known. Having given, dattva, having given, labdva, having gained. And all that. So all these are twa ending pratipadikas or words. Okay. So let us consider the following sentences, twa ending words, and translate. Snanam kritva putraha mandiram gacchanti. So having taken bath, snanam kritva, putraha, the sons, mandiram gacchanti, are going to the temple. Then second sentence, guru upadeshena artham yatva shishyaha tushyati. Guru upadeshena or artham yatva, let's say, having known the meaning, guru upadeshena, by the words of the guru or by the teaching of the guru. You can say upadesha can be taken as teaching also here. Shishyaha tushyati, the disciple is happy. So there are two actions on the part of shishya. One is having known the meaning through the teaching of the guru. Then another is becoming happy, tushyati. So these are the two actions which the karta, who is a student here, the disciple or shishya, is performing. So that is again the use of jnatva is there. Then Upanishadam Shrutva Devadattaha Grihat Nirgacchati. So Upanishadam Shrutva, having heard the Upanishad, Devadattaha, Devadatta, Grihat Nirgacchati, leaves for home. Sorry, leaves from home. Leaves from home. Okay. Nirgacchati, leaves. So again, Shrutva nirgachati. Two actions by the same person, Devadatta. Then shlokan patitva Somadatta tan likhati. So shlokan patitva, having read the sloka. Slokan should be slokas, plural. Somadatta tan likhati, writes them. Two mistakes in English translation. Having read the slokas, writes them. Okay. Okay. Then Tattvam viditva Purushaha na muhyati. Tattvam viditva. Vid dhatu, vid is also like nya only, to know, meaning of to know. So Tattvam means the reality. Okay. Having known the reality, Purushaha translated as any person, right? Na muhyati is not deluded, purely Vedanta. Okay. So Tattvam viditva muhyati, two actions by the same person. Then jiva hai tat gatva na nivartante. Tat gatva, having attained that, right? Excuse me. But gatva has got a meaning of attaining also. Well, the gam dhatu has got, comes in various shades of meaning. Okay. One is to go, another is attain also, to reach. Okay.
Bhagavad Gita it comes now. Yadgatva nivartande.
Sorry?
Yadgatvana nivartande.
Yeah, yadgatvana nivartante. So jiva hai tadgatvana nivartante. That's all. The same thing is, put in a different way. Okay. So having attained that means what? That goal, jivas don't return. So jiva hai tat gatva na nivartante. So this is so far as, more sentences are there. Saraswati Devim Natva Patamaha. Having saluted or bowed to Saraswati Devi, Patamaha, we study. So two actions are there, bowing to Saraswati Devi and studying. And both the actions are, performed by us, Patamaha, right? Vayam Patamaha.
Raghuji, it did not be namitva or something?
No, namdatu will be not it won't get a idagama, no.
Okay.
Yeah, it will be natva only. Gamdatu, namdatu don't get idagama. Then tan hatva na jiji vishami. These are all words used in the Shastras. And because I have sourced this from Meda Michika's book, so don't get carried away. These are all jiji vishami and all words we not normally see in texts. But these are all from Shastra. Okay. So having killed, injured them, I do not wish to live. Na jiji vishami, I do not wish to live. Okay. So then phalam bhuktva punaha manushya lokam pravishanti. Phalam bhuktva, here bhuktva means having enjoyed, right? Phalam, karma phalam. Here the reference is to karma phalam. So having enjoyed or exhausted or experienced the karma phalam, punaha, again, manushya lokam pravishanti. This is the same thing, in Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan Krishna says, what is that? Chinam. Chine punye martyalokam vishanti. Chine punye martyalokam vishanti is so a person with lot of punyas will go to heaven, to Swargaloka. But once those punyas exhausted, he is born again in the Manushya Loka, in the Martyaloka, the world of mortals. So that is from a Vedanta point of view, that is there. So same idea is here. Phalam bhukta punah manushya lokam pravishanti. Having enjoyed the fruits of karma, they, pravishanti should be they, right? Sahatau te pravishanti. So they again enter the mortal world. Then Sindhum Drishtva Saha Setum Tarati. Sindhum here means the ocean. Okay, Drishtva, having seen. Having seen the ocean, Saha Setum Tarati, he crosses the bridge. Then Idam Vakyam Uktva Saha Tushnim Babuva. So Idam Vakyam Uktva, having spoken this sentence, Saha Tushnim Babuva, he became silent. Babuva means became, Tushnim means silent. Okay. So this is Uktva and Babuva. Two action words are there. Then Atithaye Dhanam Dhatva Nripatihi Tam Namati. Having given money to the guest, the king bows to him. Okay. Then Guroho Anugraham Labdhva Saha Shastram Patati. Having gained the grace of the Guru, Anugraham Labdhva, having gained the grace of the Guru, Saha Shastram Patati, he studies the scriptures. Karanam Buddhva Kavihi Karyam Api Janati. Having known the cause, Buddhva means here known. Having known the cause, Kavihi here means a wise man, knows Karyam Api Janati, knows the effect also. This is the another sentence, example sentence. A lot of sentences I have given you in order to make the meaning of this Twa very, very clear. Even after that, if anybody has got any questions, you can ask me about the usage of this Pratyaya Twa. Question time. No questions? If there are no questions, at least 1 or 2 persons say there are no questions.
No
Just gone inside little bit.
Today straight away entered, through the years to the
Raghuji,
Not Tenal Raman's head.
not the okay. Okay, now having
Raghuji, I have one question.
Yeah.
In the 5th sentence, do we have to necessarily add the word tan? Shlokan patitva somadattaha likati. Tan is an additional word, right? It is necessary.
well, that is the sentence. See, Slokan patitva somadattaha likati. Correct. Suppose
Yes.
tan is not there.
Uh,
Then he one action is actually tan is not necessary because both the actions are done by
the
Somadatta.
same person, yes.
But here, what is being implied here is the person who is saying this sentence, he writes those slokas.
Oh, I see. Okay, I see what I'm saying. Yeah.
So tan likati means he writes those slokas, writes them.
Yeah, he is the one who does them. Okay, thank you, Raghuji.
So
That's
both actions are done by the same person.
okay.
So it can be there that after reading the slokas, he is writing something else also. Then
Yes,
the
yes.
thought won't come, correct?
Yes.
But here the intention of the person who is saying is that he, after reading the slokas, he is writing those slokas. So,
Okay.
okay. Okay, good. So now lyap, once twa is there, lyap is very, very simple. Because lyap, as I said, is a substitute for twa whenever the dhatu comes with a upasarga. Whenever we add a upasarga to the dhatu, then lyap is used instead of twa. Okay. So lyap is a substitute for twa when the dhatu takes a upasarga or other elements related to the dhatu. So lyap is treated in the same manner as twa pratyaya. When twa ending word is compounded with nanj, nanj is a negative participle, that is na. Okay. When we say na viditva or anything to say the to connote a negative meaning, rather twa is not substituted by lyap. For example, kritva means to do, having done. Akritva means not having done. So we will not, because a is there, we cannot treat this a, this nanj tatpurusha, this is called nanj, And this, not Tatpurusha, it's a Nanj particle rather, Pratyaya. We will not use Lyap in those circumstances. We will use only Twa. So here also like Aviditva, not having known. Right? So this is the only thing we have to be careful. Otherwise, if it is coming with a Upasarga, then we will have to use Lyap only. So content of Lyap is Ya. It letters are ill and if, as I already told you. When the dhatu ends with a short vowel, it is added to the dhatu. Because this pit, it always brings in Tukkagama. And when Tukkagama, this we have seen in the earlier one also, the last class also we saw that, isn't it? Pit, if it is a pit, means it brings in Tukkagama. So if the dhatu is ending with a short vowel, the Tukkagama is added to the dhatu. That is the only thing we have to remember about Lyap. Okay. So Lyap Pratyaya ending words are commonly called Lyabanta, that which ends with Lyap. The Ip is replaced by Ib, by Sandhi. We don't say Lyapanta, we say Lyabanta. That is a Sandhi rule is there. So because of that, the Pakara become Ba. Okay. So for example, to make a word whose meaning is having experienced, Anu is the Upasarga, Bhu Dhatu, right? Then Twa we add. First we add Twa. So what happened? A Krit Pratyaya, Twa is suffixed to the Dhatu Bhu, which is prefixed by Upasarga Anu, giving the meaning to experience. So by addition of the suffix, Bhu is qualified to be an Angara. Now, since this Bhu Dhatu is coming with a Upasarga Anu, we will replace this Twa with Lyap. So, Anu, Bhu plus Lyap it becomes. Because the Dhatu is prefixed by Upasarga, the Twa is replaced by Lyap. So, Lyap, what is the content? Ya. So, it becomes Anu Bhuya. By dropping this Lakara and Pakara, which are it letters, they are elided, then it becomes Anubhuya. So being a substitute for Twa, Lyap functions as Twa. That is, no guna change, and Lyabanta word also is a Kridanta, and it is also an Abhyaya. Pratipadika status is acquired and Lyabanta is an Abhyaya. So Anubhuya means having experienced. We will not say Anubhutva. That is not the correct usage in the language. Bhutva is a correct usage. But when Anu comes, it becomes Anubhuya. That is the only difference. Okay. So this is the Lyap Pratyaya. Lyap is pit, as I told you. That which has ip as it letter. When a short vowel ending dhatu is suffixed by a pit pratyaya, it, Tukkagama, is added after the dhatu. For example, to make a word whose meaning is having followed. Having followed means following here in the sense of not physically following, but understanding, right? So, Anu plus Sri plus Twa. So, Sri dhatu, Anu plus Sri gives the meaning of to follow, right? So it becomes an Anga. Sri becomes an Anga. Now, because the Anu is there, we add Lyap. Anu, Sri, Lyap. So when the Dhatu is prefixed by Upasarga, Twa is replaced by Lyap. That was okay. So it becomes Anu, Sri and Ya. Okay. Because this Lyap, both these it letters are dropped. Then this Lyap is a Pit. So it brings in a Tukkagama. So what happens after the dhatu, before the pratyaya, we add a it. So Lyap with being a pit pratyaya, Tukkagama, content it is added to the end of the dhatu. So the word becomes Anusrutya, not Anusriya, but Anusrutya. As Twa ending word, Lyabanta is also Pratipadika and Abhyaya. So whenever there is a short vowel ending dhatu, Raswa vowel ending dhatu, we have to remember to bring in Twa. We don't need to worry about all this so much only because we are not going to, write anything. We are only going to study and understand. So whoever has written will have taken care of these grammar rules. But the only thing that we have to understand is, or keep in mind, when we come across a word anusritya, even though we may actually recognize that as a Lyabanta word, we may wonder from where this takara has come. If we do not know that this lyap, takes some dhatus which are ending in hraswa, what is that? Hraswa.
Vowel.
Sometimes the short vowel, raswa.
Swara.
Rasva swara. Getting old rather. Suddenly it vanishes. So that is why, whenever we see this in some cases, we can know that this takara has come because it is lyap pratyaya and it must mean the dhatu has got a rasva swara. So that is why it has taken a tukara. That's anusritya. So this is then some of the Lyabanta words are there. Pra plus ap, prapya. Okay. Pari plus each we have seen pariksha. Upa, sam plus kram. There are two upasargas. Upa is also upasarga, sam is also upasarga. Then upasankramya, having gone to the other side. That's the meaning of this upasankramya. Then ava plus gam, with avagamya, having understood. Then pra plus nam, pranamya, having saluted.
Namya shirasa devam gauri putram.
What happened? Some slokas are coming.
Oh, I am so sorry, Raghuji. I had asked you a question. I suddenly remember pranamya. I should have muted. I apologize. I truly apologize.
Okay, pranamya shirisa devam. Yeah, that's a pranamya. Correct.
Sorry. I thought I muted, but obviously I had done. I apologize.
That's okay. That's okay. So then pari plus tyaj, parityajya, having given up totally. Sarva dharman parityajya. So that is the other. Vimuchya. V plus much, to set free. Having set free. Vimuchya. V plus nya. Vijnaya, having known. Anu plus
That muchya, that there it will not change to ik. Vimuchya.
so here, because after muchya only ya is following, When does it change to ik? Go back to our rules.
Okay.
So Padini's rules are very, very strict. So if the conditions are not applicable, it won't change.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. So then vijnaya, having known. Anu plus tha, anushtaya, having performed. V plus ha, vihaya, having given up. So in the following list, all dhatus end with a short vowel, hraswa. Because krit pratyaya, which are pit, cause takara to be added after the dhatu. Lyap, which is pit, is a substitute for krit pratyaya, causes takara to be added after the dhatu. Now all these dhatus are all with hraswa swara. Adhi plus e. Okay. Then with lyap, it becomes aditya. Okay. Then pra plus e plus lyap, pretya. Because pra plus e will take guna. Okay. When the dhatu itself having upasarga, it becomes pre. Then add takara, pret. Then lyap, ya, pretya. Then adhikr, adhikritya. Vismr, vismritya. Ang, shri, ashritya. Ang is a it letter. Pra plus tu, prastutya. Upasamhr, upasamhritya. Having summed up. So these are all words which you can just read, go through and revise. So that we must know that whenever the dhatu is having a hraswa sound at the end, hraswa vowel, it will take tukagama. These are examples for that. Okay. Now, let us consider the following sentences and identify the labanta words. Upasargas and translate the sentence. Sarvan lokan parikshya brahmanah vairagyam apnoti. So here, which is the labanta word?
Pariksha.
Pariksha.
So having examined all experiences, having examined pariksha, sarvan lokan. Here loka taken in the meaning of experiences, not world. Okay. Sarvan lokan pariksha, having examined all experiences, brahmana, a wise man, vairagyam apnoti, gains detachment. Okay. So two actions are there. One is examination of all experience. Another is gaining detachment, vairagya. Then vidyavantam upagamya vidyarthinah sevam kurvanti. Having approached the learned people. Vidyavantam means they are learned people. Okay. Upagamya, having approached. Vidyarthinah, the students. Sevam kurvanti, they do service. Okay. So vidyavat is the pratipadika. Then plural is vidyavantam. Okay. Then shirasa manasa cha devam pranamya saha japati. Pranamya. Shirasa manasa cha, having saluted pranamya, the deity, devam. Shirasa manasa cha, with the head and mind. Okay. I don't know how to translate shirasa because normally we bowing the head is the way we salute. Okay. Saha japati, he chants prayers. Okay. Then sarvan bandhun parityajya saha bane vasati. Having renounced parityajya, having renounced sarvan bandhun, all relatives, saha bane vasati, he lives in the forest. Then pakshinam vimuchya devadattah taro mule tishtati. Vimuchya, having released, having freed. Pakshinam, the bird. Having released the bird, devadatta taro mule tishtati. He sits under the tree or stands under the tree. Either way you can. Stands under the tree should be, not sit. Tishtati is ta dhatu. So the meaning should be he stands under the tree. Okay. What happened? Stands under the tree. Then more sentences are there. Karmani anushtaya purushaha adhikaritvam labate. Anushtaya, having performed what? Karmani, all actions, all are sadhanas you can take. Purusha adhikaritvam labate, a person gains entitlement. So here the reference is to again Vedanta reference, sadhana chatushte sampatti he gains, okay, by doing all the sadhanas, entitlement, adhikaritvam. Then sarvan vedan adhitya putra gramam pratyagacchati. Having studied all Vedas, Vedan Aditya, Sarvan Vedan Aditya, having studied, having studied all Vedas, the son returns to the village, Pratyagacchati returns. Okay.
In Aditya, this verb will be, the dhatu will be?
Dhatu will be dhi dhatu.
Okay, okay.
Okay. Dhi, that is not dhi, it is dhi hraswa. Got it?
Thank you, Ji.
Yeah.
Raghuji, I have a question.
Yeah.
Why is it pratyagachati? Upasarga is instead of agachati.
Prati a gachati.
Yeah,
Upasargas are there.
Upasarga, I know, but was it required? Is it required at that time? Pratyagachati.
Agachati means comes.
Oh, return. Oh, I see. Never mind.
Language is very perfect.
I know. I was thinking, come back. Okay.
When he returns means he has earlier gone and he comes back now.
Yes.
Comes back.
Yes, thank you. I know. And once you said it became clear. Yes, thank you.
That's why two upasargas are used. Okay. Okay. Asmat lokat pretya anyam lokam prapnoti. Pretya. Again, prudhatu. Having departed from this world. Asmat lokat pretya. Right. One gains another world. Anyam lokam prapnoti. One gains another world. Slokan vismritya devadatta tan na vadati. Vismritya, having forgotten. Right, having forgotten the slokas. Devadatta tan na vadati, does not chant them. Then
Pretya, is there any upasarga? Pretya,
Vismritya.
asmat logat pretya. Pretya is the this no. Pretya, is there any upasarga? Because we have added.
A good question. Then pretya pridhatu. Let me see 1 second. What is happening? I'm not getting. Let us see. Pretya. The dhatu is E. Okay. Pra is the upasarga.
Acha, okay. Dhatu is E.
Dhatu is E.
Okay.
Let us see E dhatu also. What is the meaning of E? E in gatau, to go. Right?
Okay.
So the dhatu is E. That is why it comes pra upasarga, it becomes pretya.
Pretya. Okay.
Good question. So even I didn't pay attention to that. I just took it pretya. Must be there is a pra upasarga I would see, but then I couldn't know how it becomes pretya. So pra plus E becomes pre. Okay. So that is the thing. Anyhow, where did it go? Oh, yeah. No, wait. We were here, right? So Asman Lokan Pretya. That then Bhagavantam Ashritya Janaha Jivanti. Having recourse to God, people lead their lives. Ashritya, here taken as recourse or having surrendered, you can take, or having taken refuge. All these ashritya you can take, or it comes in all these meanings. So Bhagavantam ashritya janaha jivanti. Having recourse to God or have taken refuge in God, people lead their lives. So these are the examples of sentences of lyap pratyaya, right? So wherever we have got this ta, aditya, pretya, all we can know that the dhatu is hrasva vowel ending dhatu. Okay. So next pratyaya is tumun. Now tumun pratyaya, it denotes a bhava. That is the meaning of the dhatu itself. Okay. Contents of tumun is tum. And it letter is u of tumun, right? That is u is for the purpose of pronunciation and in for intonation. So we don't need to worry about both these it letters because they cannot bring in any changes, these it letters. But since it is not a kit pratyaya or anything, guna can take place and idagama also can come. Or the general rule of the dhatu will apply when we add a tumun. Okay. Gender of the pratipadika, tumun ending pratipadika is treated as an avyaya. Since tumun denotes bhava, the action itself, and bhava does not have any gender, there is no gender for tumun ending pratyaya. Declension of the new pratipadika being avyaya, it does not decline. Vigraha vakyam is very easily understandable, so vigraha vakyam is not commonly seen. So tumun is suffixed to a dhatu when there is another action which is for the sake of the action of the dhatu. Okay. So the sentence is Devadatta goes to the village to see Somadatta. So here you just see that the action is done by the same person, but both the actions are connected to each other. Okay. So because he is going to the village for the purpose of seeing Somadatta. It's not that he goes to the village and then sees Somadatta. Though it is performed by the same person, they are non-related actions. When we use tumun, they are related actions. So we say Devadatta hai Somadattam drashtum, for seeing gramam gacchati. Okay. Or to see. Drashtum will come in the meaning of to see. Okay. To see Somadatta. So here action of going is for the sake of action of seeing, for which tumun is suffixed. Then there is a word indicating desire, which is connected to the action of the dhatu. I want to see your Lord form. Okay, this is why Arjuna, Arjuna says to Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, Aham te Aishwaram Rupam Drashtum Ichchami. Drashtum, to see. Ichchami, desire to see. What? Aishwaram. So here, the connection of the desire to see is connected to the form of the Lord. Both actions are connected to each other. Okay. So here, the word Ichchami is connected to the action of seeing, to which tumun is suffixed. Okay. Then there is a word made of shak, to be able, arha, to be entitled, which is connected to the action of the dhatu. I am not able to stand. Aham avastatum na shaknomi. Okay. Avastatum, to stand. Na shaknomi, not able. Then using arha dhatu. Tvam evam shochitum na arhasi. You are not entitled to grieve in this manner. Evam, in this manner. Tvam, you. Shochitum, to grieve. Na arhasi, not entitled. So here the word shaknomi, arhasi are connected to the action of standing and grieving, to which tumun is suffixed. So this is tumun pratyaya. I think it's almost time now. We will see more of this tumun pratyaya, and also we will see chichana pratyaya in the next class. And then we will complete, and then next class, time permits, we will go to the 23rd lesson also. Okay, so during the 5 days that you have got, you can prepare the 23rd lesson. And if at all, if it not on Wednesday, certainly on Friday, we will start that lesson. Okay. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Thank you all. Any more questions?
Namaste, Guruji.
Namaste.
Namaskaram.
Raghuji, I have a question regarding getting lost in the language than the Shastra. So when we are reading the Upanishads and the Shastra, and while we are trying to identify this grammar, is possible to get too much distracted and lost the essence of the Upanishad? It's a general question that I have for you. Remember, you told me in the Anakati ashram that so many people were so much interested in the language they lost track. So
that happens in my class also. Lot of people have totally lost track of for the purpose they came to the ashram, because they got totally immersed in Sanskrit. Okay,
that's my fear. That's my fear now, because as you're telling, I'm recalling all the, as you're teaching the grammar lesson, all these Tuman Pratyam, I'm listening to the Gita shlokas or some Upanishad Vakyam, which I regularly listen. And I'm afraid when I'm listening to the actual teacher, this comes and going to distract me so much. Is there any recommendation you have?
Recommendation is that
not to get lost in the language.
No, not that way. Use the language as a tool for purposes of understanding Upanishad. Don't make the language an end in itself. If you make the language an end in itself, you will get totally drowned in the language, right? And you will not understand why a particular usage is made in a particular place and all that. So it is just like, we must use all these things as tools for the purposes of doing something. Like in an assembly, car assembly, or any assembly is there, factory. They use a lot of tools, but the tools are not the end for them. For them, it is manufacturing the car.
Yes, I do understand, but I was just thinking.
If we keep, and that is in our hands, the tool is very important for understanding the scriptures. That we must not, belittle the importance of the tool. But we must not get lost in the tool. Yeah. This thing is, because the more we understand the tool, and this Puja Swamiji used to say that very much, he says, enjoy the tool. Don't make it an end, though it's not your goal. And learning Sanskrit, as Puja Swamiji used to tell, in fact, he told me personally, it's a beautiful journey. But that journey is, you should enjoy it while traveling, and not make that journey a permanent thing in your life. Your purpose of the journey is to reach a destination. Yes. And destination here is to learn the Shastra, read the Shastra. And in fact, many of my students, my friends rather, who listen to Swami Paramarthananda, they say that he speaks so much of Sanskrit, we don't understand anything. Like you also mentioned, samasa, this, that, bahuvrihi, karma dharya. We don't understand anything.
Yeah, karma dharya.
You are not studying Sanskrit properly.
Yeah.
But learning Sanskrit, it is not everybody's cup of tea. You see, how many people are now in our class? How many we started with? How many are there? So this learning Sanskrit requires a tremendous amount of stamina rather. Right? Because if
you're right, because whenever I come to this point of quitting up, something tells me, no, I cannot quit. No, I must stay. I mean, there is some inner drive, Yeah,
see, this resistance will come. It depends upon how you are able to overcome that resistance. You overcome that resistance, then it becomes very smooth flow rather.
Yes.
And even though I am teaching all these things in so much detail, right? In many classes, like my wife has been learning 1.5 years Sanskrit. From this, Samskrta Bharati, some classes, once in a week. She knows the meanings, but she does not know the grammar of all these things. So the point is, tomorrow, if she's reads the Bhagavad Gita, then if she comes across a new usage, she will not know what this is. Many times we have experienced that. So she attends my classes also, because she finds the grammar part also is useful rather. But she doesn't get sort of totally lost,
Yeah.
So these are all tools we must use. Like a Olympian or an athlete will use all sorts of tools to make his, make himself fit to run in the Olympics and get the gold medal. That should be your attitude. Not
Thank you, Raghuji.
Yeah. It's like the pole vaulter using the pole to cross the pole.
Exactly, like a pole vaulter using the pole. He will use the pole so much during the time of learning. But finally, when he takes the jump, he has to leave the pole and then jump on the other side. He can't be holding on to the pole, then he will never jump also. Many people I've seen, I mean, you are absolutely right. This I have experienced myself. In fact, they will spend all their time in the ashram, other than the class time, only in Sanskrit, nothing else. But they find Sanskrit, many people find it overwhelming rather. But
Yes,
if
yes.
you learn the language, it's a lovely language.
It is lovely, but you have to spend. It is sometimes overwhelming. I'm not going to deny. A lot of times,
Overwhelming. I mean, when your spouse is handsome and beautiful, you have to spend time with them. No? You can't ignore.
Okay.
When you
Getting
get old, Raghuji, when you get old like me, I'm totally ignoring. That's the problem, because you are totally, what class? He doesn't even know what class. Thank you, Raghuji.
What I'm saying is, if we treat Sanskrit, give it its importance and also its place, it is a very useful tool. In fact, now, after teaching you people, for the last 1.5 years, when I am reading my daily Bhagavad Gita chapters, I am myself able to make out the meaning a lot more than what I used to do earlier. In fact, this is the third round I am doing, third or fourth round Bhagavad Gita chanting I am doing. I do one chapter every day, right? And for a week, I repeat that chapter. That's what I do. Now, what I did in the first round, today, fourth round, because I am teaching you, I am myself learning a lot of these things. Whenever I am coming across those words, I am able to understand it myself. And that is helping me in my Bhagavad Gita teaching on. That's why I took up Gita teaching, had the confidence, okay, now I can handle Gita like that. So all these things are all in one package rather. So,
Thank you, Raghuji. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
But at the same time, don't get totally lost in Sanskrit. That is a very dangerous trend. It happens to a lot of people. So we must use Sanskrit for the purpose of understanding Vishnu Sahasranamam, Lalita Sahasranamam. And when you learn this, when you come across these slokas and all, it's an enjoyable experience.
Yes.
I know the meaning. Like
Vidyananda.
Vidyananda, exactly. It is a Vidyananda. Even though that Vidya is related to a Vishaya, normally when we say Vidyananda, we talk about Vidya as Atma Vidya. But here also it's one more level than a pure material happiness.
Yeah.
It is a Vidyananda only. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Raghuji.
Thank you very much. We'll meet on next Wednesday. Hari Om. Thank you.
Hari Om Guruji. Thank you.